So I picked 10 influencers that were, currently on YouTube and stuff like that. Made them a knife. I sold them the knife, 10 of them, and then they all did a video on it late August. And then they had all their videos done on those first 10 knives by October. And then October 31st, I took orders and it went crazy.
From there, and it's never stopped. Well, welcome. We're on, I believe this is the 6th episode of the Mr. Knife Guy podcast, and I told you that I'd have something really special for you, and I pulled it off, and today we have a very, very special guest. You're going to be excited. We have Ramon Chaves of Chaves Knives.
Yep. How's it going? Thank you for inviting me.
Good. I really appreciate it. I appreciate you taking time. I'm kind of lucky because you moved to Utah. It makes it a little bit more easy to get face-to-face.
Yep.
I was going to track you down one way or another if we had to do a Zoom interview or whatever. So, no, thank you so much. We're honored, and we love Chaves Knives and everything about it. We're very honored to be a Chaves knife dealer.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
I thought my followers would like to get to know you and see what all the hype is about.
No hype.
Many magazines would say otherwise. But, I mean, you've got quite a really cool history, and you've built a huge following, and what you do is just awesome. It's just full of awesome. You're filling a niche in the knife community that, is it's not really a vacuum, but it needs to be filled, and with your personal touch on things, it's just being gobbled up. And you're right up there with all the staples like Hinderer and Reeve and ZT and Strider and, those staples. You're right there.
That's an honor to hear that. I don't see myself in that at all, but.
Yeah, and you're humble too. But yeah, so that's fantastic. We'll go through a little bit of history, and I was doing some homework to get some questions to talk to you about and make this interesting. And I have my best friend, he's an off-road guy, and he was reading Tread magazine. He knows about knives, but he's not really a knife guy. And right down here, it said Chaves Knives.
Yep.
And I opened it up, and there's like a 6-page spread on you, on Ramon. And it was really cool. So this is a really good history to, find out where you're from and what inspires you. There's a lot of, among all the Jeep articles. But I just thought that was cool.
Yeah, I did too. We knew he was doing the article. We didn't know it was going to be
in that magazine
as extensive as he made it. Yeah, he got it.
Just show. Chaves has you covered.
Yep.
So, yeah, it's awesome. And some of the things you're doing right now. So we'll get into it. You are from Albuquerque, New Mexico. Where are you from originally?
Belen. It's about 30 miles south of Albuquerque. And then a few years back, we moved to Albuquerque. And then now, of course, we live in Saratoga Springs, and we work out of Pleasant Grove.
Okay. That's awesome. So there's becoming a little knife capital there in Utah County in the Springville area in Pleasant Grove, and like that. Flightanium is there, and another dealer that I can't remember their name, so we won't mention them. But
there's a few people there, a few knife makers. It's a bunch of great knife makers there, actually.
There's more in Utah than you would realize.
Yep.
Most people. But,
Axial's in Springville.
That's right.
Yep. Jared Oser. Yeah, a bunch of good guys.
So it's a great community. Up and coming. So I had the privilege of, on the way up to Blade Show West, I got to stop by and tour your facilities, and Carlos was there with your crew frantically making the Chubb OTF in time for, you didn't think that it was going to make it for Blade Show West.
Yeah, we didn't think we'd have enough because of anodizing, but
you pulled it off.
Yeah.
And it worked out great. And then I got some as a dealer, and we'll cover some of the models and stuff and let everybody know why these knives are so cool. So you're in the New Mexico, in the Albuquerque area. When did you start getting into knives? Well,
got into knives. Well, I've always, my mom actually bought me my first knife, and that was at Knott's Berry's farm.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, and I think I still have the blade. I don't have the handle. I messed with it after I got older. But it was just a regular fixed blade knife. And then later on, from my dad getting knives, then I found a knife that was made by my uncle. Well, I found it and I'm like, hey, Dad, what's this? And he's like, oh, my brother made that for us. And so I'm like, oh, I'm going to try to make one. So I tried to make it, like, I think 2-3 days later, tried making a knife. And that was it.
How old were you?
I think I was in 10th grade high school.
Okay.
So 15, I guess.
So it's kind of in your blood.
Yeah, I never met the man because he died way before I was old enough to remember him. Or even he might have died even before I was born. But yeah, then I just made them as a hobby here and there, a couple of them. And then in about 2010, a friend of mine wanted me to make him a knife and he wanted to pay for it. So that was when it kicked it all off. And then just people started buying them, friends.
Did you start off making like fixed blades?
Yeah, fixed blades. That's mostly all I had made up until that time, or everything I had made up to that time.
Okay.
Yeah, and then friends of friends and friends of those guys, and then it just got busier.
That's awesome.
Started going to the visiting blade shows, and I never knew that stuff existed. And I met another knife maker in Valencia County. And he's like, oh, you got to go check out this knife show. It's the biggest in the world. Blade show, Atlanta, of course. And I went there, first show ever, and I was like, holy smoke, this is crazy.
It's a crazy show.
Yeah. So then I saw people making folders. I never thought of even making a folding knife. And I saw a bunch of them there. And I was like, oh, I'm going to make one. So then that show's beginning of June by The Gathering, which used to be
in October.
In August, Labor Day.
It's Labor Day weekend. That's right.
So August, September. Mm-hmm. I had my first prototype, Redencion. I should have brought it. I didn't think of bringing it. But yeah, so that within those 3 months, I designed it, made one, and had it there showing people.
That's crazy. I'm sure I saw you there at that show.
2013?
Mm-hmm.
Probably so.
Yep.
Met a bunch of cool people at Blade, met a bunch of cool people at The Gathering, and then just started doing it.
Yeah, I love our community.
It's great.
A lot of great guys, and it's a close family, and everybody wants to help everybody else, and you fit right in. You do.
Thank you.
You're very approachable, and I don't know. Sometimes you build up your heroes in your mind. You know, they're rock stars too, and you're a little intimidated to approach them. Even though I've been doing this for 25 years, and I know the likes of Ken Onion and Brant Ty and those guys. Mel Purdue is a good friend, and you just have this image. And I was a little intimidated to approach you at first, and you were just so nice and treated me like everybody else, and made me feel really comfortable right off the bat. So,
well, thank you.
That's the truth.
That's funny you mentioned Mel Pardue. And I just saw Joe at the last Blade.
Is he making knives again?
I'm not sure if he's making knives, but Robert is. Okay. But that 2013 gathering, I met Robert, and then through his dad, and then his dad was there too, and he's like, yeah, just sit at my table and show everybody your knife. I'm like, are you sure? He's like, yeah, of course.
No way.
Yeah, and so he just came up to and I met Mal too at that same show, but he just came up to the booth now in Texas. And he's like, man, I can't believe how far you come. I'm like, he says, from you sitting at my table that time. I'm like, yeah, that's crazy. That's crazy what's happened.
Too. It's fast.
Yep.
It's usually not happening that fast. So you've hit on something, and you've got really cool taste. So let's show a couple of your knives, and then we'll get back into your story a little bit. What's your earliest model here that you have on the knife cam?
Well, I guess you could tell my favorite my favorite design is Redencion, right? Because these are all them.
That's my favorite too.
Except for this one.
I love the kickstop. Is my favorite.
Yep. So these are all Redencions, except for this. It does have a Redencion blade. So we're actually thinking of calling it, because this is after the tack, and I have 229s.
Where did the name Redencion come from?
I had a fixed blade that was called Redemption, and I kind of started designing that one towards a folder. It doesn't really look like that now, or It didn't look like it after I finished the Redencion knife, but that's what I started designing out. So I just changed it to the Spanish version of Redemption.
Okay. I love that.
Yep.
And then Yeah, it's just very clean, smooth, and you're sticking with. So you do usually a drop point and a tanto.
Yep.
And the tanto blades are true Japanese tanto. It's not an Americanized tanto. It's the real deal.
Mm-hmm.
I guess I can hold that so that the camera can see it better. It's just really clean, simple design and finish. But to hold these knives, usually the scales are solid titanium with the frame lock. Really, really aggressive jimping. They have ball bearings. I'm doing this left-handed, so don't judge me. See if I can get a good shot of that. And then it's usually just either natural or black acid washed.
Yeah.
Is it a DLC blade?
So this one is gray PVD blade and handle, and then all blackout hardware.
That's awesome. Yeah, PVD is okay. This is your newest model.
Yeah,
here.
and this one too.
I didn't even notice.
Yep, that's integral as well.
Okay, I only bought the Tontos. So this one's a chisel grind.
Yep.
You see on that side, it's only sharpened on one side.
So I like chisel grind, so we do a Art Chaves exclusive usually for the website only, and that's what these ones are.
It's interesting that you're grinding the opposite of the carry side,
because chisel grinds are mostly, they're either left-handed or right-handed.
right?
So when you're cutting, I guess when you're using this one,
That's how you want
everything to come up.
Exactly. And it makes them really easy to sharpen too. If you're out in the field, you could just find a rock and bring the backside up.
Yeah, you sharpen one side, drop the other.
Exactly. Get that burr off.
Yep.
And then probably the most distinctive thing that's recognizable about Chaves knives is the skull clip. That is their logo. And there's a box. And what I think is great is because, I mean, it's bold and it's out there and it screams, it's a statement for your brand, which there's nothing wrong with that at all. But just in case, this is not the right one.
That one doesn't have it.
You also include a regular clip. And I don't know, this is the project. It's not in there either. There's a regular clip as well that you can swap out if you don't want the skull, but everybody wants the skull. I'm going to find
people that change it out, but
yeah, and whenever I mention it to customers, they're like, "Yeah, I don't want to." So you can see in the knife cam, there's a regular clip. It's milled titanium.
Mm-hmm.
If you want, so the choice is yours.
Yeah, on the blue label, it actually comes with the non-skull clip on it, and then a skull clip in the knife or in the box. I'm sorry.
So you just switch it around.
Yeah, because I mean, as a custom maker and then turned production, I mean, a lot of people that just get into just buying knives, they don't know the difference of skull clips and all that stuff. So
right,
hopefully they can change it out.
Figure it out. Yeah. So that's smart though. And the article does a really good job. You have come up with different series. People have different series of their knives, and you've got different colored boxes, kind of like Benchmade does that as well. But yours is more like entry level, mid grade, and high end, or your custom. We'll cover that.
It's a little bit different than that. So we have the blue label, which is like beginners, or not beginners, but entry level
budget knives,
and then red on red boxes is all production. And then the black on black boxes is mostly stuff that we only sell on our website only, or exclusive to us. We'll do it at shows, and they usually don't go out to retailers, unless they might pick it up at a show or something like that.
Okay.
And then eventually, when I could get back into making customs, which I hope is soon, then I'll go back to the black and red original box. And then I'll probably just have maybe my signature on the front versus Chaves knives, and that'll be my version.
Signature series.
Yeah.
I love that. So whatever your budget needs are. This knife here is kind of cool and special. And we've talked a lot about on other podcasts about collaborations. And you're no different. And you picked a really good company to collaborate with. Most all of your knives are manual folders or flippers. And you went to ProTech. And they did a collaboration, Redencion, auto version. And I was so excited when that came out. We had to order as many as we could. And I think you're doing another run too.
Yeah, we should have some coming in pretty soon. We just did our exclusive drop in the black on black boxes on our website over this weekend.
Cool.
And then more dealer stuff and show stuff coming up for Blade.
Awesome.
Yep.
So you just got back from Blade Show, Texas.
Just got back.
How was that?
It was insane. I think everybody that I talked to had a pretty good time, and the show up was great. Did you go? I don't know if you went.
No, I'm right in the middle of a whole bunch of stuff with the business, and I wanted to go so bad, and I was back and forth, and I always regret not going to shows like that. Raven the Pirate was there, and I've always wanted to meet him.
He's great. He's cool.
Corresponded quite a bit, but we've never met face to face. And
yeah, the second day line was as big as the first day line.
Oh, I bet
it was crazy. It was busy.
Cool. Yeah, I bet your table was one of the busiest. So cool. Yeah, I bet that was neat to be there with ProTech and have that. In fact, I'm carrying today. This is the Mr. Knife Guy personal one. And I was fortunate enough today to have Ramon sign it for me. He engraved the blade. So
looks so good.
It does. It looks so good.
It does look good.
It turned out great. I appreciate that. In the Mr. Knife Guy Blue. Thanks for doing Mr. Knife Guy Blue for me.
Oh, you bet.
And then this little guy here.
Blue Label Redencion Street.
So this is a street. It's got a G10 backspacer.
Yeah, this is one that we sold on our website, red and black. We usually reserve those for our website too. And then I just put titanium liner or titanium scales on it.
I love it. It's gorgeous. Yeah. So the TAC, it's a great name. When I learned it's an acronym.
Yep.
And it stands for
Tiny Ass Knife.
Tiny Ass Knife.
Yep. And it's not really that tiny.
Well, compared to the rest of your knives, it is the tiniest.
Yep. Yep, it is.
That's great. But it's a mid-sized knife.
Yep.
And
but for our line, definitely smaller.
Then you show me something coming up that's kind of cool. That's very similar in the shape, but it's bigger.
Yeah. Identical shape, just scaled. And tack is a flipper, where this will be thumb stud. And this is the end tack, not tiny ass knife. And it's not super big. It's the size of like a 229. And a few people had been asking if we could do that. They really like the tack and the shape,
but they want it bigger.
Yeah, so bigger. So this is the prototype and
end tack. Love it.
Hopefully, by Blade Show, maybe we can have some. I'm not 100% sure.
Okay.
So end tack.
That's fantastic. Okay, so here you are. You're making fixed blades, and you went to a couple shows. You decided to make some folders, and what happened? How did you get into the industry? And
so I met at that first Blade Show. Met some guys, and we kind of just came up with a plan. It was of how maybe I could like get into the market, right? And it was Knife Thursday. I don't know if you remember Knife Thursday. I made friends with those guys and kind of came up with, I don't want to say scheme, but a plan. So I picked 10 influencers that were, currently on YouTube and stuff like that. I made them a knife. I sold them the knife at a discount. I think I gave it to them for half price maybe at that time. 10 of them. And then they all did a video on it. And then I took orders. So I made that first one for the gathering, which is late August. And then they had all their videos done on those first 10 knives by October. And then October 31st, I took orders and it went crazy.
From there, and it's never stopped.
Yep.
That's crazy. So if you're wanted to be a knife maker, and I hope you paid attention because that's how you do it right there. That's brilliant. That marketing is, today that's how you do it.
Yep.
If you find the people who are talking about and have influence over the community, get it in their hands and let them talk about it, good or bad.
Yeah, good or bad.
Because you're going to learn from it.
I don't mind any criticism at all. It's all constructive to me.
Yep. It's awesome.
So, and I take that and work with it. I think I always have. So,
okay.
Yeah.
So how long were you building knives out of your home?
So yes, 2010 until like 2021, I guess 2020.
Okay.
Still building customs there. Well, 2020. I haven't made a custom knife in a couple years, so yeah, till then.
Okay. Did you have like a shop in Albuquerque area?
No, I had a very small shop behind. So at my very first house, we had a really small shop, like a Model A garage. Our house was like built in 1920, so it was like a tiny garage. Didn't even have power.
Wow.
I'd run an extension cord from the house. And then we added on a little bit and added on a little bit, even though after the additions, I think it was like 600 square feet, maybe.
Wow.
Yeah. Just a bunch of grinders, sandblasters, all the good stuff, or all the things you need, I guess.
And then you made a huge decision to take your family, pick up and move to Utah, of all places.
Yep.
What was that all about?
So we wanted to make OTFs with the Chubb, starting with the Chubb OTF, but it's illegal in New Mexico to produce them. Yeah. I could send them back to my retailers there, but I can't make them there. So I didn't want to chance anything.
Right.
So I had an opportunity to purchase into a shop here, and I jumped on it, and we started making the Chubb OTF and getting everything done on that, the mechanics, and just figuring out how to make an OTF.
That's awesome. So you've got tons of CNC machines. You've got, everything you need now.
We don't have a ton. We got 4.
That's a ton.
It's
it's a bunch.
So we got some machines, and we're just cranking away on the Chubbs right now, working on just regular OTF knives as well, non-utility blade ones.
So I hear you have a tease on you.
Yeah.
You want to show that?
I'll let you.
I get to show it.
Yeah, so, like there'll be a lot of changes on there before it hits.
Let's show the Chubb. If you don't know about the Chubb, this is the coolest thing to hit the market. Everybody's doing a utility blade. We've got the XOUs, the Riot utility gravity knives, and they're super popular. This was one of the first, it's the first quality out the front utility blade that I have seen.
Pretty sure we were the first to put the utility blade in an OTF, and then we were knocked off immediately. Like instantly.
Yeah. Now a lot of people are doing it. You can find them on Temu. Just crappy cheap ones.
Yeah.
But this is the real deal. If you can't decide on the steel that you like and the Chubb OTF, and it's what's so cool about it is how easy it is to swap out the blade. If you want to demo that.
Yep.
On the knife cam. There you go. So it's just got a little friction position in the top. You just lift up on it, and then it slides out the regular standard utility blade to one of 2 positions. Makes it really, really easy. And you could almost do it one-handed. And I think that's the biggest criticism I hear about utility blades.
That was a little tight in the blade, but and blades are
that's
different.
Brand new in the box. I just pulled that off the shelf of Mr. Knife Guys.
Yeah, and some blades are different. This blade might be 2/1000ths thicker than another blade.
Right.
So, yeah.
Right. But you could do it single-handedly if you had the right blade.
Yeah, the first Chubb was just a regular, it slid out with like a push button. That was probably 8 or 9 years ago.
Like a manual
OTF
slider.
Yeah, manual OTF. And then we did the Chubb flipper and then Chubb slipper. And Chubb is an acronym too. Chubb is handy utility blade.
That's right.
People laugh at it.
Love that. No, that's fantastic.
It's a great name. But
it's brilliant. I love how you come up with the names. I had a flipper, but sold out before I could grab them for this, which is good. We'll get some more in stock. Yep. And then, so I'm going to put the links to Chaves knives on Mr. Knife Guy website in the description. And I also took some pictures of the inside of your facility at the Blade Show West last October, and we'll attach either links or those pictures to this podcast as well, so people can see inside your shop.
That sounds cool.
Everybody can have a peek.
Yep.
So awesome. So you moved here to make autos, basically.
Yep.
That's
didn't want to chance any legality stuff.
It's smart because New Mexico is very liberal. It's a very liberal state. Utah. So there's 0 knife laws in Utah, guys. 0. It's like Arizona. It's fantastic. You can carry whatever you want. You can make whatever you want, sell by And, of course, except for ballistic knives, that's the only
Yeah.
knife that's federally regulated. But other than that, it's up to the states. So when did you decide to go with distributors instead of just selling off of your website? And I know
That's been a while. That was back in like 14 or 15.
did you do distributors before dealers? Who was your first dealer, your retailer?
There was a handful, Blade HQ, and some smaller retailers. Hollow Grind was one of the very original.
Huh.
BMC Tactical. I started maybe with like 5.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's awesome. And then I remember at the gathering, I was looking at your stuff and I'm like, oh, this is really cool. This is really nice. I love these knives. And, I should be a dealer. I should sell these. And you're like, yeah, you should. And then instead of listening to you, I just kind of didn't really think about it. And then all of a sudden people are coming into my store. Hey, you got any Chaves knives? You got any Chaves knives? People are asking. I'm like, maybe I should. Maybe I should. And then I hired Noah. And he came in and he's like, why aren't we carrying Chaves knives? And I'm like, okay, I'll get a hold of him. And I called Carlos and
Yep.
he hooked me up immediately. And I got my dealership and brought a bunch of the Chaves knives in. And then you guys closed the window on the dealers.
Yeah, for a little bit.
I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm so lucky I snuck in and got in there. And I've never regretted it. I'm so happy to have a partnership and carry these. They're on my top shelf. They're top shelf knives. They're right next to the
Thank you. I
Protex.
appreciate that very much.
And the Microtex and the Heretics, and you're right up there with them.
Thank you very much.
That's where they belong. Is there anything that you wanted to show or mention about your process or the quality or your materials or anything that maybe your buyers don't know that you would like them to know?
So, everybody knows I've never kept it secret. I've always been very open. David at Riot makes my production stuff. You cannot beat his quality. He's great.
They are the best OEM there is. And they make their own knives that are just fantastic knives.
Yeah. So this year we're transitioning pretty much every design from the pancake titanium backspacer into integrals. The first one was the TAC, and then it was the 229s. And next I think might be coming is the scapegoat. Not 100% sure.
Okay.
But we have,
That'd be cool.
But everything is getting transitioned into integral to have more of a separation from higher end and those different blue labels, production labels. And
so let's talk about integrals, because a lot of people may not know just exactly what that is. If you can go to the knife cam and see the spine on this knife, as opposed to, I won't do the auto. Let's do this one here. So on this knife, it's basically 2 scales or 2 handles with the liners inside. Then you have your pivot, your actual pivot, the ball bearings, the blade, and then a backspacer. And that's what holds the knife together. It's several pieces. The integral, if you notice, there's no opening in the spine or the back of the blade.
yeah,
Talk about that in integral. It's kind of a big deal in the knife community, and a lot of people are like, because it's not easy to do.
Mm-mm. It's one solid piece of titanium. And so all the, I don't want to say easy, but one of the nicer things about backspacers, and you have to get the space right with the blade and the washers or bearings spacing,
So that you have good alignment.
so you have good alignment, centering, all that stuff. It's a little bit more forgiving with a backspacer. This is, but you have to make everything perfect on this, just because there's no fudging it on the spacing.
Right.
And then
You've got one piece instead of 2.
Yeah.
So you can't adjust it. When it's done, it's done.
That's it.
But all of your centering is just spot on. I've never seen a Chaves knife that wasn't perfectly centered.
There's some in the very beginning that I fought with for a while.
Even go to the knife cam one more time. We'll take a look at that, the centering on that. And what we mean by centering is where the blade comes in, it's not leaning to one side or the other. It's not going to rub against either scale. It's perfectly centered in there. So love that. Knife snobs always look for that.
Believe it or not, we've got a couple of these ones back in warranty for not being centered.
No way. Oh, okay.
It's the chisel grind. I'm like,
Okay.
no, it's
Yeah,
supposed to
that's
not be
how
centered.
It's supposed to be. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. If it rubs, then you're worried.
No, yeah.
But
They
there's
said,
no
no,
rub.
the tip is not in the center. I'm like, yeah, it's
It's
not
a
on
chisel grind.
It's not on this one.
That's good.
So
Something to be aware of.
Yep, it's fun.
Okay. I think. Oh, I was going to show this. So we were talking about the Chubb, the out the fronts, and when I came in and sat down with Ramon, he handed me this, and I got a little excited. I kind of drooled, I think. But here's a teaser for everybody.
And we still have work to do on it. Final finishes and stuff like that.
Yeah, and I love that blade shape. Are you going to call this a clip point?
I don't know.
I wouldn't.
It's more of like
It's
my
close.
it's more of like my liberation.
Yeah.
It's like a slender drop point.
It is a slender drop point, but I have seen people call that a clip point, and I don't agree.
No.
So he has done some amazing things on the machining of this button, the way that it's shaped and how it's forward heavy. There's no jimping. This is a prototype, so there may be jimping on the final product, but is this solid brass?
That one's solid brass, yeah. So
You would think it would be slippery,
No, there will be jimping on it. That's just, I
but
grinded
it's
it.
not slippery.
It's not bad.
The way that you have machined the ramp on both sides of it, there's zero jimping. It's brass, and it works beautifully, and the action is beautiful. You can feel the engagement. You nailed it.
Thank you.
Nailed it right there. I cannot wait. I hope I can bring those into the store. Are they going to be available to retailers?
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Yeah, we'll get as many as we can.
Yep.
Are you going to offer different blade shapes? Or?
Yeah. Right now I have, on my computer, I think I have 5 different blade shapes. 5 or 4.
Fantastic. Yeah, we'll get them all in. And are you going to do different colors?
Yeah, we probably will.
colors?
It'll probably be, we'll probably have one color first and then just run with them and see how they go.
Go there. Maybe there might be like a Mr. Knife Guy exclusive or something.
There
I'll
sure
have to
might
talk
be.
about that.
Yep.
All right. It's exciting. We love out the fronts and we, love to carry tactical and automatic knives because we can, and they're just cool and they're fun. One thing about Chaves knives that people have always said is, yeah, they're great, but they're too expensive. If you're a knife guy, you don't hear that because for what they are, they're not. They're very high quality and they fit in their niche. And that's why I love what you're doing with the blue boxes so that everybody can afford.
Yep.
It's kind of like Rick Hinderer making ZTs, so you can afford a Hinderer and still get that design and the quality. So,
And we just wanted to do that I wanted to do that under my own brand and my own company.
it's brilliant.
Yep.
We should do that. So, do you know what these are going to retail at?
Not sure yet, but they will definitely be competitive for sure.
Fantastic. I can't wait. I cannot wait. So, you'll have to watch the Mr. Knife Guy website and our Instagram and our podcast, and we'll keep you updated on any new Chaves models that come in and are available.
Yeah, we're hoping we can get the first group out by Blade Show, probably for the show.
Okay.
And then maybe direct and then retailer. We're still working that stuff out.
Okay, that's fantastic. That's another thing too. A lot of manufacturers, you hear their plans and then they either don't happen because things happen, or they take forever, and change along the way. But you guys make things happen fast. I've noticed you don't make announcements until you're pretty sure you have, purchase on it.
I try to. Sometimes it gets out, but even if it's not on time, we try not to be too far past time.
Yeah, it's pretty fast, but it's not. It's like everything's ready.
Yep.
You won't release anything that you don't feel perfect about.
And that's trial and error. I've done it before where say things are going to be out and they're not. Then it bites you in the butt.
Here's an oldie but a goodie.
Oh, yeah.
Put this under the knife can here. This was something that I was able to get before I became a Chaves dealer, and it's an early titanium wallet. It's called the Tyfold.
Tyfold, yep.
And now you make different wallets. Do you still make wallets?
We do.
Or you have?
Yeah, and they're the same ones. We have the one that has the
A little different.
money clip on the back and then the cards in the front.
It was cool. Solid titanium.
Yep.
And you can get them at $45 retail. And pretty fun.
The first ones were like bent all by hand, and they were a lot of fun.
That's cool. Is this yeah. So this integral doesn't even drop until the 28th, I believe. Is that right? Is that this one?
No, that's
it's this one, right?
That's the Chaves Chaves website one. This would be this one.
Okay.
Or I'm not even sure.
It's this one.
Oh yeah.
I thought I pulled it out, but I didn't.
Yeah, bright stonewash.
Yep.
Oh no, that's the standard stonewash.
I think we just did the brights. I just
The
sold
bright
out.
stonewash.
Yes, I just sold one to Ontario, Canada.
Those things
yesterday.
came out slick.
The last one, yeah.
Black blade, bright stonewash handle. Yeah, those were really nice.
So be watching for it. If you haven't handled an integral, they're cool. They look cool. They look beautiful. And now, they're a lot harder to manufacture.
Yep, they are.
All right. So what are your plans for the future then? Just keeping up?
Yeah, just keep going. New designs. I really want to do like OEM agreement, not OEM, but bring designers in and make their knives and add them to the Chaves brand.
That would be awesome.
I think I have 3 that I might be working with this year.
Okay.
I don't know if I'll be able to get them out this year, but
Right.
3 or 4 knife designers that would like to do a collaboration with them.
Under your name.
Yep.
That would be awesome. I love that. And are you planning on doing any more collaborations like with other manufacturers like ProTech, like you did with ProTech?
No, that's not on the horizon at all.
Okay. I mean, you could end with that and be fine for that because that was such a hit.
No, I'm happy with doing work with David. They're so awesome at ProTech.
Yep.
And I think that could be a big future for us.
Fantastic.
I
Just
mean,
to keep it as a production version, or
yeah. Yep.
I'd like to see that.
Yep.
Definitely. Okay, well, that's really all that I had for you. I didn't want to take too much of your time. You actually took time out of your vacation, and your wife is here patiently, enduring this and allowing me to take away from your family time. And I can't tell you how much I appreciate it, Ramon. It's been a pleasure to have you in the studio.
Well, thank you.
And we love to put a face with the knives.
Well, thank you very much. I'm glad I came. I'm glad you invited me, and super fun. Super cool.
Great. All right. Well, we will keep in touch.
Yep. Thank you, sir.
Thank you so much. And that's episode 6 of the Mr. Knife Guy podcast. Thanks for joining us, and stay tuned.